Hi, I'm Pam Hansen and I'm back with another little sewing video. Just trying to keep up with things here. My husband and I are still camping. I'm still in the trailer. I turned a dinette into my sewing room today, so he's outside reading a book. I think that's his library out there. I am doing a little bit of donation sewing today, and I wanted to tell you about it. Last year when we were all under quarantine, I was really itching to try to get out and do some volunteer good work of some kind. And I didn't want to go mix with people in a volunteer center, but I found out by word of mouth about an organization that I could do some sewing for. The organization is called Days for Girls, and their website is daysforgirls.org, O-R-G. If you go to their website, you can learn all about the philosophy and the mission behind this organization. It's all geared toward helping young girls, women, reach their full potential. One of the things that often holds girls back, which I was not aware of this in third world countries or very poor circumstances, often the girls do not have access to nor money for their needs for their own menstrual cycle. And that can put them in a really bad situation in ways that they're trying to get the money to do that. And it also keeps them out of school because they generally have to stay home when they're having their period, and then they miss school, they fall behind. This is one way that I figure maybe they can stay up at school and they can graduate and they can go on to have better lives for themselves and whoever comes along in their life. So that's what I started out doing. I found a group not too far from me. On the website, you have to drill down a little bit to look through things. If you see tabs that say join our movement or get involved, start clicking on those and you'll get to, at some point, to a spot where you can put in your country and your state, and it will show you a map, and it will show where there are organizations that are working on the Days for Girls projects. They will have a contact info there for you. And the chapter that I got contact with is actually in Arden Hills, Minnesota. And that's not too far away from my home. They used to have sewing days when they could get together, but with quarantine happening, they stopped doing that. The woman who was working with that and coordinating a lot of that for the organization kept on making up the little kits for the sewing to be done and offered to let people come and pick them up from her house if they would like to do that. So I did that. I got in touch with her and started out on just a few and had those done no problem. So I went back and got some more, and I've done a few hundred now. So I brought some along this winter. They were already all cut out. I knew all I had to do was sew them and turn them and finish them. So I thought I'd tell you about that a little bit. I'm sewing today on my Singer featherweight machine that is really an antique. It was made in about 1948, I believe. I looked it up. Works like a charm. I got it through bartering some of my machine quilting with my friend Debbie, who had more than one of these, and she was happy to see one of her machines go to a new home in exchange for some of my work on her quilts. The machine just sews forward and backward. It's very simple mechanical machine, and I really have very little problem with it. The the fabric is cut at this woman's house with a die cutter. This is one of the sets of flannel octagons that she cuts and prepares with a die cutter. It's two pieces that are rolled through the cutter together, right sides together, and cuts out the whole octagon. And they stick together because flannel does that, so it makes it real nice and neat for making up these kits. The next step in the process is to sew all around the outside, leaving one edge open for turning. Just about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You don't have to match the thread because it's going to be turned inside out, right side out. the next step after this is to do a little bit of trimming on each of the corners to get rid of the bulk in that corner, and then turning them right side out. With this, I have this little pointer tool that I've had for a long time. You can still get it in sewing supply stores. And it's just right for reaching in here and through that opening and just poking out the little corners, pressing it out the seam with the point of it, and then folding under the edge where that opening is, right up there, and pressing that down, pressing the whole thing really well with the iron. I actually had to go buy another iron for finishing this up because I dropped my little travel iron on the floor and it broke. I thought I got it back together, but it won't turn on. So off to Walmart I go, and Walmart to the rescue with a little travel iron. It is called the Steam Pro, I believe is the name of it. And it's $20 or something like that. So now I can go onward with my project here. So once they're all ironed, they do get top stitched around the outside, and it will be just a narrow top stitch around the outside, and that holds the opening closed. You don't have to do any hand sewing on it. You also, they ask you to sew a line that's right from corner to corner here and one from corner to corner there. Those are little fold lines. Let me show you how they're used. So even though this one doesn't have the lines sewn on it, I'm going to demonstrate. These are folded then into about thirds. So you get a little pad that's like 6 thicknesses of flannel in the middle there. There's also a little outer cover for these pads. This is regular quilting cotton with a waterproof liner and sewn inside. A little pocket on each end that holds the ends of the pads. And there will be snaps on these two right and left sides here. They have a snap setter that they'll do that with. The pads are, let me put it into the pocket, one on each end. I'm doing this a little quick so it's not going to be real smooth, but you can get the idea that the pad is held in there like that. This is placed on the panty. The outside ends come around outside of the crotch of the panty and snap there to hold this in place. These can then be washed and reused real often. The girls receive a little kit with these pads and holders and some soap and water, and not soap and water, some soap and a washcloth and some information on feminine hygiene and menstrual cycle health. So it's a pretty good complete setup, and they need these all the time. So if you're ever interested in doing some charity sewing on your spare time, which I seem to have more of now, this is a good way to use it. So I hope that explains that a bit for you, and I will put the contact information down in the notes about the show, and hopefully that might be something you could check out and help out with. It's real easy. They can also use donations of money as well. Sorry about the noise in the background. More campers coming into the campground. Yeah, there they go. That was a long one. So, hope you're having a good day. If you enjoyed this, give me a little thumbs up, or leave me a comment or a suggestion or constructive criticism. I'm happy to read it all. So that's it for now, and I hope you're having a good day. Thank you.